President Biden issued several stark warnings about threats to American democracy Thursday in Arizona. In his fourth speech on the topic, which is also expected to be central to his 2024 campaign, Biden, who normally remains silent about his predecessor, did not hold back against Donald Trump and his, quote, extremist MAGA movement.
Do you ever think you'd hear leaders of political parties in the United States of America speak like that? Seizing power, concentrating power, attempting to abuse power, purging and packing key institutions, spewing conspiracy theories, spreading lies for profit and power to divide America in every way. This MAGA threat is a threat to the brick and mortar of our democratic institutions.
Misinformation and abuse of power that the president mentioned are just some of the threats to democracy the U.S. is currently facing. The country is also dealing with corruption allegations in the Senate, legislative deadlock in the House, political polarization, and limits on voting rights, among others. For more on this, let's bring in CBS News election law expert and political contributor David Becker. He's also the executive director and founder of the Center for Election Innovation and Research. David, good to be with you again. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
First of all, your reaction both to the content of the president's speech and also the fact that he gave it.
Yeah, the line that really struck me from the speech was, we've made progress, but democracy is still at risk. And that's exactly right based on what I'm seeing in the states. We've made progress. A lot of the most aggressive election deniers lost in 2022. We're starting to see accountability at the criminal level with people who tried to subvert elections, including the former president being indicted. At the civil level, where we're seeing Fox News and others pay big judgments in settlement to settle defamation claims. And we're even seeing some professional liability where lawyers who aided these efforts are being held accountable through disbarment proceedings. One was going on today for John Eastman in California. That's all really good, but democracy is still at risk. We're over 1,000 days since that November 2020 election. And I can tell you from talking to election officials all over the country, they're still being abused and harassed and threatened as much now as they were in the days immediately after that election. I just came from a convening where law enforcement and election officials and some experts were convening to talk about the risk of political violence. A convening like that would have been unthinkable just 7 or 8 years ago. And now this is the norm. We need to prepare for the kinds of negative effects that disinformation and lies are having on the electorate as a whole.
I spoke to Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, at the Atlantic Ideas Festival today. Let's listen to what he said, and I'll ask you about it.
We have to get back to a place in this country where we all accept that we are bound by our commitment to our democracy, to our nation, to our freedoms. And I think the president is right to sound the alarm on the effect that, the former president is having on our democratic institution.
So, David, what you mentioned, what can be done by a governor, or because obviously the key swing state of Pennsylvania, what else can be done in those states right now?
Well, Governor Shapiro is right. I mean, there's a reason President Biden has given 4 speeches on this topic. It's an important topic. There's a reason he was in Arizona, which is where a lot of the election denial and disinformation has been centered. But I think it's also important to note that it's not just Democrats who are pushing back on this at the state and local level. People like Governor Shapiro, Secretary of State Benson in Michigan certainly are Democrats, but there are also people in Arizona. The Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, 4 out of 5 are Republicans. The Maricopa County Recorder is a Republican. Former Arizona Speaker Rusty Bowers is a Republican. All have spoken courageously about these efforts. Former Secretary of State of Nevada, of course, Secretary of State Raffensperger and his staff in Georgia. So this is a really bipartisan issue, and there was a call in this speech for people of principle to speak up and speak out and to push back on the lies.
So those are about the election system, the integrity of the election system. Let's open up the view a little more broadly and talk about the threats to democracy in terms of, let's take impeachment, for example. The idea that a president is so corrupt he must be impeached. Even though witnesses in the hearing today suggested there was not evidence at all of that, does this constant drumbeat, though, do something to undermine people's views that the system works, and therefore, because if it undermines those views, they take matters into their own hands?
Yeah, that's exactly right. A democracy is fueled by trust. We need trust, even an old and established democracy like ours. And it requires that both sides trust the process and accept the outcomes. And that used to be an informal agreement of the parties. There would be an assessment that, okay, I lost this time, but I'm going to serve the country by conceding and fight it out another day. The trust that we run elections on has been hard-earned. We actually run better elections in the United States of America than we ever have. We have more scrutiny, we have more transparency, we have more verifiability than we've ever had by every tangible measure. And yet we still have a significant portion of the country that is being fed a constant diet of lies about that. And that is undermining the strength of the democracy. A democracy can't function if the losers won't accept defeat. And there will always be a loser in an election. That's why we hold elections.
Do you think the shutdown also, again, undermines the ideas of institutions that we would hope people would at least believe in enough that they would, abide by their rulings, abide and listen to them? Is the shutdown have a cost in this way too to democracy? I
think it does. I think this is all piling on the attacks on institutions in general, and the idea that government can a democratically elected government serve its constituents? That was something that autocratic governments tried to convince Americans for decades, that democracy wasn't the way. You need a strong central government. And Americans were always resistant to that. But now we're seeing it undermined by our own citizens who are telling fellow citizens that they can't trust their neighbors and their friends and families because they might disagree on policy, whether it's the shutdown, whether it's issues related to not just in elections, issues related to the judiciary or law enforcement or health care or education and teachers. These are all attacks on our institutions that a democracy relies upon to function.
David Becker, always good to have you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks a lot, David.